side as well, though. So another buy round going to be heading
Another one.
forward. It's been aggression and damage, utility damage and picks in the early round, time and time again, every single round between these two teams.
Money's not that good for order though. So a loss here. Not sure exactly what their loss bonus is at, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to get a particularly strong buy through.
Yeah, definitely won't be what they need, but that's a good start. Imagine throwing the flash over the top of the roof, and EUNZ is going to peek off the back of that and take Blitz out.
Oh, Lucy, lucky to be alive at this point. Goes down to 12 HP while trying to line up some utility. He's going to have to think quickly about what they want to be doing here, because it seems every corner they turn around is one where they lose some HP.
They're just grouping up towards this A side of the map. Ofnu will throw the wrap smoke in as well as a Molotov into the Archside while the rest of Chiefs do creep up this dig side. Smoke onto the site, Molly into pit and a flash, but they're not going to commit, and Zuzi goes straight down in the Molotov. They're just getting hard crossfired and utiled out of this round here, Jordan.
Yeah, Tuck's trying to do his best to claw something out of this one. Texter able to help him. But the rotation is well and truly in effect here for Order. So Alistair is just going to bide his time. Great shot. And he now knows where Texter is as well. Will take the duel himself, which is going to cost the orb. Will probably be picked up again by EMAG. 13 for Order. That's a pretty important one for Order to win, just in terms of staying alive. If they had lost, money was a little bit scarce.
Money is now scarce for the Chiefs, though. They're going to have to take a save here. And his attack from Order. They need this map.
They need it, yeah. This is Order's map choice as well, because interestingly, the way that the seeding worked going into this game wasn't actually based on the bracket, but it was based on the seeding coming into the tournament, which Order was seed 1 because they won last season. And Chiefs would have, in that case, been seed 3. But even despite the fact that Chiefs won the upper bracket, they didn't actually go into this match as the higher seed. Quite funny, but probably not a big deal for Chiefs. But it does make it more problematic if Order loses this map then, right? Because then the next map is not theirs. Yep. Ordinarily in a best of 5 like this, Chiefs map would have been the first map, which would have been Train.
In a best of 5, it matters a lot less than in a best of 3. Oh my god, you ever just cop the dink? Just from old mate who pops his head up from T stairs?
Yep. All the time.
Even better, the flying scout across top mid when you're at T stairs.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And when you die, an anime profile picture appears on your screen.
Damn weebs. Shouldn't be too much of a concerning round for Order. Won't want to lose any guns though.
Definitely not.
They'll keep money pretty scarce.
Yeah, their money's still not good. They need every single gun they can hold on to.
So far, so good. It doesn't seem like this is going to work too nicely for Chiefs. Nothing really to get them in the side here. EMAG cops a couple of dinks, but only one gun lost. Order's probably pretty happy with that. Now we're at 14-14. That's where things really get interesting now. Money should be good enough at least for Order to get a reasonable buy through next round if they lose. For Chiefs, probably the same. Like, it'll be serviceable. Chiefs would not want to drop this one here. Make their run quite difficult in getting a 3-0 and allowing us to watch a run at the minor.
So not the best buy, all things considered, for Chiefs. You can see Zuzi has had to go down to a CZ. They're starting to run out of utility, but have traded utility effectively to take Banana control. ENZ has been left solo on Banana, while the rest of Order are going to fight for this bracket control as a 4-man unit. Chiefs now taking some carpet control while holding on to Banana with one player anti-flash. But what's their next move in the round? That's the real question. Jumping out of apps will be heard by Order. They are very close here. As soon as the contact does come out, though, and it looks like it's about to, Order will pounce.
4 players on A here. This is going to be disastrous for Chiefs, surely. Well, actually, it's not. The trades come across. Tux, Texter, Blitz, they all get a frag. Nothing's happened over on B just yet. But in fact, that was a 3v4 as Chiefs made their way into brackets, and they actually won the trades.
Yep.
So that is very, very dangerous now for INZ, who's on his own. He's going to have to deal with 3 players walking their way onto the B site. Utility comes across. Susi does drop. He was one of the full HP players, which is obviously less than ideal for Chiefs. Time is kind of against them here, but the bomb plant should be easy enough to get down. I don't know exactly where Hats is, but they've got time to check everything. Hats now in a 1v2. And a difficult angle for him to play from. Ofnu doesn't even give him the chance to play the game. 15's up for Chiefs. And money's, oh, well,
Not good.
it's a bit here, it's a bit there for Order.
No, it's just not good. It's just not good at all.
Not good.
Oh,
Help.
help. It's not good. Tactical timeout for Order. INZ has been doing a really good job at holding down that B site without much assistance, but now that's the main thing that has been pretty successful here for Order, I would say. And they won't have access to that with no AWP being able to be purchased for Order. And time again, they've been going for that double AWP. So they're going to have to come up with something pretty crazy here, Jordan.
Yep. Maybe they should ride that bicycle on the CT rotations and... Oh, that's the T side. Jeez. Maybe they should ride that bicycle on the T side and they could get to the bomb sites faster.
Maybe. They need the correct chemist to be able to ride a bike that fast.
What?
Don't worry. If you know, you know.
I don't know. Well, smokes go down for Chiefs. Looks to be fairly similar as last round, though less presence towards Banana. Alistar through the smoke. He might just do enough here for Order, but he does cop a bullet from Ofnu. However, that bomb has gone into an awful position for Chiefs now. It's going to be a lot of work, not only to retrieve that, but then to get out safely. Smokes are going to have to be invested. INZ with a FAMAS, however, will be able to spot Blitz. Doesn't get the kill, but the incendiary down. Forces Chiefs back, buys some more time for the CTs. Buck's going to be the one to round the corner. He'll put his own smoke down, posting himself up on the jungle line. Looks into Arch, but just he doesn't see INZ. I think we're going to overtime.
The bomb's dropped on top of the pallet as well.
I mean, it's going to get worse for Chiefs, could it?
No. I think we are going to OT, which could be pretty good for Order, all things considered.
That happened.
Huge performance from Ali and INZ there. And then INZ just shooting Imagine in the back of the head. It's revenge for earlier.
It was Alistair that copped the shot, wasn't it?
Well, it's revenge. They're old friends, you know. It's fine.
It's true. How quickly a round can just fall apart for Chiefs. I wonder what difference it would have made had the bomb bounced backwards in towards brackets as opposed to around the corner in front of Arch.
Because I was just wondering, like, I mean, it would have made a lot of difference because it would have gave Chiefs a lot more options.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering what the thought process really was behind going for a play like that when you're aware that your opponent has not the best buy. Like, I feel like there's much higher percentage plays that you can go for by playing a slower round and just baiting out utility and trying to search for stacks and counter aggression and stuff like that. But, you know, what do I know?
What do you know?
Not a whole lot.
What was your best, like, placing in a tournament? Like your most important tournament, or like highest placing in a weaker tournament?
Probably just making it like into a closed qualifier or into like MDL or the first division and just being there.
Yeah.
Like not even going to like a playoff spot, maybe just middle of the table in one of those sort of competitions. So
Yeah.
not great. Obviously those kind of competitions are a lot easier to get into now than they used to be. Somewhat. But yeah, not fantastic.
Yeah, CS landscape in Australia has changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think getting into a closed qualifier nowadays is a lot easier, particularly when, like you look at even this tournament itself, right? Two of the best teams in the region are not competing because they're overseas, right? That never used to happen. It was always the best teams all the time because there was like no one ever went overseas.
Yeah.
And if they did, there probably wasn't any CS happening at that time anyway because there was only one league or like an ODC here or there sort of thing. I suppose you're right. Maybe you could have made it at some point into the AUNZ Championship, but we'll never know.
Couldn't qualify.
Couldn't qualify.
Couldn't do it. It's too hard.
But if you didn't qualify, maybe you would have been invited.
Maybe.
Well, Alistair misses the shot on the cross.
Chiefs haven't really taken much map control, but going pretty quickly into carpet this time around. Order put a fair bit of util on that part of the map, but now Chiefs will be grabbing control of Banana, copping a little bit of damage through the wall. It's actually 2 shots in a row that Inzus hit through the wall, but he gets traded back by Zusi. Now Zusi dropping the molly over here towards Coffins, but Imagine is still going to get a pick and get away before things get too out of control for him. Buying time for the rotations. Chiefs aren't even on the bomb site with the bomb yet, but Tux could be the difference maker here.
Well, it depends how Order decide to rotate. Maybe right, but he may also end up being essentially a non-factor in the round, which is kind of what it's looking to be at this point. He might just catch Hats. He certainly heard him, that's for sure. So,
how much time can these players from Chiefs buy on the site? They're not playing in the back of the site. Only one of them is, that's Zusi.
Tux is well aware of that. That's why he puts the pedal to the metal here, and he does actually catch Valiant as he's throwing the smoke. Looks like the smoke has actually still gone off in Banana, so all for... Oh, that's actually not too bad for Order. Now Zusi, though, comes up with a big pick. That's Hats going down. Emag trying to push through forwards. Has spotted Texter as well. Gets on the bomb. Tux, I think, will be a little bit disappointed there because he probably could have gotten 2.
Definitely.
He played it perfectly. Like, he put...
That's just gun mechanics, and that's just down to not having enough reps in with the SG, probably.
Yeah, the perfect timing. He wasn't hurt. Like, he ran at the right time. Oh, well. Happens, I guess.
Like, if he was as comfortable with the SG spray as he was with the AK, he probably would have got both there.
Yeah. It's only 1 round, though, so not the end of the world just yet. Looks like we're pretty much watching a replay of the last. This time, though, Alistair does hit the shot.
You could see In's just ready for someone to strafe out and trade him out there, and he would have got the second pick there for Order. So nice little setup between the AWPs. And now with that man advantage, Order is just going to fall back into some more normal sort of positions. But you can see Texas starting to make his way through Archie, and he has actually caught Valiance off, playing a little bit of musical chairs, and now Chiefs are going to go straight towards this B bomb site. You can see Inz is ready for Texter, but Texter doesn't really have to do anything right now until Chiefs start to make their way into the site. And now Alistair's starting to flank down middle with the AWP. This is going to get real messy.
It's a really fast push from Alistair. Up Banana here. He's been spotted, though, by Zusi. We'll actually get the tag through the wall. Zusi's going to continue to challenge. We'll clear out Banana, but in the meanwhile, Texter goes down. So CT's been cleared out as well. Chiefs didn't actually commit to the B site.
There's still 50 seconds on the clock. All the actions happen so quickly that there's a lot of time, but nice push in the mid-round from Hats catches one of these Chief players off guard.
I mean, his push is everywhere at this point. Flashback does go down. And Inz is all over the A-bomb side as well. Like, the Chiefs are probably going, how on earth is Order, like, literally everywhere? Must feel like they're just all over the place. And they are. That's a crazy round.
And now they've got a lot of money. That's going to lend itself a lot better towards the kind of strategies that they were employing in regulation, right? Like, they were doing very, very well with this double orb setup and with, you know, switching around the rotations and catching Chiefs off guard. And that's exactly what they've got cash for, and that's exactly what they're having success with time and time again.
Don't feel like Chiefs are going to be too happy to let this one go 3-0. We look at the first and second half of regulation time. It was 9-6 on both sides, favouring CT side, which would translate into a 2-1 CT side in the overtime. Alistair pushing into Boiler, does get a tickle onto Tux. A bit more than a tickle, I suppose, at that point. Puts him to 12. HE through Carpets, won't do too much damage.
Now Chiefs just making their way into bracket, all 5 of their players sitting there, and Alistair might have just caught the timing to be able to catch one of these players for free. Does indeed, and gets away with it. Rest of the players coming out carpet here with the back of the flashes.
Seen that time and time again. The timing really paying off here for Order. Blitz is able to trade Valiant on the bomb side, and Hats goes down to Tux as well, but it's just kills coming across for Order, and they're only just then being answered by Chiefs. We're not seeing any untraded frags, and now Offnu's established himself in a 2v1. It's a winnable round, that's for sure, but it's still difficult. And a pretty important round as well.
Order just taking their time coming in here. They do have a little bit of util. One Molotov, a smoke, and a flash. Could definitely be the difference maker. In's posted up. Oh, it's actually Imagine posted up on this dig side, and he has tagged out off to. That patience does reward Imagine there. And that's going to be 3 in a row for Order in OT, which puts them in a fantastic position to come away with this map. All they need is one T-side strat to work. Just one. I'm keen to see how Chiefs is going to play off the back of that. Are they going to go hyper aggro and just try to get away with a few gimmicks before they go back to sort of the normal play style? Or are they going to play timidly and expect something crazy to come out from Order in the first round, knowing that Order have 2 more rounds to play with after that, even if that doesn't work?
It's a bit of a mind game, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You've got to be kicking yourself in this position as Chiefs because they're up 15-14. It looked like a winnable round. The money was not good for Order on the CT side, and then running through the smoke, Alistair gets 2, bomb drops forward. Chiefs will feel like they wouldn't have had to have been in this situation.
Yep.
But now they are. This is why you can never really count out a team like Order. You know, it hasn't been the prettiest of games, but now it looks like they should beat Chiefs in map 1. And if they can do it here on Inferno, who's to say they can't do it on the rest of the map pool?
Oh, what a nade onto Blitz, just to start things off.
Big one onto Hats as well. Actually, it was 2 grenades onto Hats.
2 nades don't make a right, Jordan.
That's a bit better from the Chiefs. Even through the flash, they're able to get EMAG. A lot of presence in Banana from Chiefs, but Order haven't been able to take advantage of it by doing much on A.
I mean, that looked like pretty much the exact same thing that Chiefs have been doing the entire regulation of their CT side.
Yep.
Just dropping utility when makes sense for them.
I guess that answers your question, though, doesn't it?
Yep. Taking time. Doesn't necessarily mean Order can't win this round, though. 55 on the clock. 4 players still alive. Hats barely so, though. Tux and Texter are going to be trying to hold down this A site with 4 players heading their way, often trying to hold onto the rotations through jungle side as well. He can drop a flashbang above pit to aid some of these players once the hit does come in. Could definitely be helpful.
A bad setup on A from Chiefs, but they desperately need the assistance of their teammates. Well, Texter's going to get some nice timing. Hats and Alistair caught off guard and actually catches a 3rd for himself as well. That round looked a little too easy for Chiefs.
Double pick setup can always catch people off guard. You could see even Order had a player deep in the site there, and they still weren't ready for that second player to be just in the small pit holding on. So just speaks to how effective it is. You can never correctly guess where those players are necessarily going to be at what time. Utility into Banana for Chiefs once again, but Alistair's got himself a premium position here to be able to find a pick, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
That is a big grenade onto Chiefs, but an even bigger one onto EMAG. Zeus is caught off by the same angle. Blitz is going to continue to challenge. Now it's all sort of fallen apart for Chiefs. It was looking decent for a moment, at least with the trade. But now it's looking pretty scary.
Blitz going to play aggressive on the off angle to try and find a free pick and even up the man advantage before Order comes rolling into this bomb site. Texter playing directly between both of the sites, and Tux just chilling over there towards carpets. Here comes this B hit. Blitz being flashed multiple times, but does find his opportunity to even up the man advantage.
Has another one here now as well, as he's able to post on the line again, but he's pretty much going to have to do it himself. Texter's dead. Blitz, he's gotten 2 there, which is a really solid effort. But had Texter survived or even won that duel, this round would have looked winnable for Chiefs. Now, a 2v1 for Tux. He's got himself an AUG. Smoke, though, is really going to play havoc with what he's going to be able to do here. A nice grenade softens up Alistair, but not enough to get the kill. Gives away his position more or less now as well. That smoke certainly will. And he's spotted by In. So, map's over and done with. Order win it in overtime. Chiefs, their map advantage is all of a sudden no longer a factor.
Yeah, not a factor anymore. So heading into the rest of the map pool, we got you got Train
next.
followed by Mirage, and or followed by Nuke and then Mirage, isn't it?
I think it's Mirage then.
Yeah. No, I think it's the other way around.
Either way, pretty good chance we get to see them all tonight by the looks of things.
Oh no, you're right. It is the way that you said. Nuke is the last one. So there you go. I won't argue with you anymore. There's no point.
Yeah. Look, what do we get there from Inferno? I don't know if Chiefs are on their A game tonight. I don't know if Order's on their A game tonight either, to be fair.
Yeah, that was a very sort of scrappy game. And I think in terms of the context of what this game means for both teams, it's not surprising that they aren't going super hard like you would see at a LAN Grand Finals. You know, it's a seeding match. There's going to be more chances to qualify. But still, it makes it a little bit easier for one of these teams. So maybe as we head deeper into the map pool and we get in more reps, both teams will start to warm up a little bit more.
Yeah, perhaps. So we still have at least 2 more maps to go tonight, potentially 4. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Train. The choice of Chiefs is up next.
G'day, mate.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
This is Callum Murray.
Callum Murray to the seafood aisle.
Callum Murray. Why'd they name you that?
I take you.
Callum Murray. Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
Welcome back. It's the AUNZ Championship, and we are currently watching the grand final, essentially, of Stage 1. Now, that might sound a little bit bigger of a deal than it really is. At this point, it's a seeding match for both Order and for Chiefs, and Chiefs came in with one map advantage, which now no longer really exists, and we find ourselves more or less in a best of 3. We've taken out a couple of the maps. Overpass is gone. We just saw Inferno. Those are the ones that I kind of got through the veto process. The next match coming up on Train. That's the Chiefs pick. Would have felt like maybe this should have been the map that they would have started this series on, in which case you would lean more towards a 2-0 to start off with Chiefs, but we're not at that point anymore. And Order at least able to clinch map 1, it seemed, after, I would say, a bit of a struggle. It's fair.
Yeah, I think so. I think looking at a best of 3 is essentially what it is, like Train, Mirage, Nuke. I don't know, I'd still probably be leaning towards Chiefs just off those maps and also off of form. But it definitely is like a bit of a scrappier night here, so maybe Order can definitely, you know, put some scraps together and come away with a win here to be the better seed
Yeah, it
heading
feels
into
like
the rest of the AUNZ.
everything's a little bit lethargic right now. You know, everyone came into that game pretty slow. Even I feel like, yeah, let's just take it as it comes, you know? See what happens. But I've seen Order in these kinds of matches before, and they have been able to come back from deficits of that 1-0 nature, of 2-0 nature. I don't know, maybe Order just sort of come into this series wanting it a little bit more. I feel like they have a bit more to prove than Chiefs do at this point.
I would agree with that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did come away with that just off the back of watching that last map. But Train is definitely a map that used to be like one of Order's best, and then a million people banned it against them. They didn't play it as much, and now it's kind of like not a fantastic map, like not the best map for them. Whereas Chiefs are definitely playing it quite a bit at the moment.
But like when you say that, what Order are you referring to? Because there's been so many.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
Is it like going all the way back to the Order that came from Kings, which was like Liaz?
Yeah.
Obviously a big important factor, I suppose, in that argument. I don't know. Like, it seems like a long time ago since Order was really considered a very, very strong Train team. Even you look at Kings, and you would sort of put them in that. So you got players like Inz and Alistair who come back into the roster. Even since they came into the roster, I never really felt like this has been a solid, super solid map for them. Now Valiant's in here. What kind of change-ups does that mean for them? We'll see. I kind of think that for Chiefs, they probably would feel like they threw away Inferno a little bit there in the 15-14 situation, running through their own smoke against, what was it, like 3 SMGs and a FAMAS?
I think, yeah, 3 SMGs from us and an M4, and they ran through their own smoke into the only player with an M4,
Yeah.
so
Who then got 2
bit
kills.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit rough. So
And
are
then
they
into the
particularly
palace.
worried? Do they move on to Train and go, hey, look, let's just finish this off? Or then Chiefs are back, you know, and we could just see them absolutely smash Order.
Could be the case, particularly on a map like Train, but I guess we'll see. I mean, if it is Chiefs' pick, then Order gets to start off on that sweet, sweet CT side, which is always nice. And then Chiefs will have to get it rolling on the T side. But we've definitely seen them pick this map pretty regularly and start out on the T side and be totally fine to do so. So I wouldn't expect anything crazy out from them if they get off to a nice, strong start here.
Hasn't really been a crazy night, to be honest. It's been a pretty cool, chill kind of night, I feel like, for both teams. No one's throwing everything at this game. It's not a bull at a gate, I suppose. I don't know if I could find a better analogy than that. Maybe I could have. But hey, just waiting for the game to start, Pilly. So, you know, we'll just have a casual chat.
Yep.
It's just kind of getting to that point. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like particularly with this format, right, and particularly with how many how much saturation of competitions there is, and all these teams going overseas and stuff like that, I'm kind of talked out about, like, you know, who's the top 5 teams at the moment, you know, and like.
What's your favorite Dare flavor?
Oh,
That's a
I
good
like
one.
this one. This one's pretty good. There's only a couple,
The
right?
double
They got
espresso.
that like natural one, with like the different kind of milk, I think, and then they got double espresso and single espresso. They're all pretty nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
It seems like you're all over it, Philly.
I'm a dare connoisseur. At
Bit
this
of a
point,
connoisseur,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you like to do in your free time?
What do I like to do?
Yeah.
Actually, recently I've been playing a bit of Counter-Strike.
This can be the Pilly podcast. You know, like everyone seems to be doing a podcast right now. So I'm
that's like very.
we've
trendy.
got a bit of a pause right here. Some sort of ESA issue for some of the players or something. I don't know. They're figuring it out. But I'm asking Pilly about his life. You know, how's life?
How's life?
Welcome to the podcast.
Yep.
Great to have you on.
Thanks, Jordan. Really
So-
appreciate it.
Look, I've seen you on a few podcasts.
That's true.
Yeah, where are you from? Who are you? Like, what are you? Why am I even podcasting with you?
I don't know. I'm
What
me.
relevance do you have?
I'm from Sydney. I like to cast the video games.
Mm-hmm.
Then I like to work in a hospitality job in the rest of the time, and then do my studies like a good boy. What about you, Jordan?
I work in esports full time.
Okay.
So
The dream.
I've done that hospitality.
the dream.
Well, I never really worked in hospitality. I worked in retail. Worked at
Ah.
a supermarket in the deli.
Mhm.
Ask me about meat. I love meat.
Good. Yeah. How thin do you slice it?
It used to be 1.5 mil.
Oh my god, that's
1.5
pretty thin.
millimeter. Well, because thin is better, right?
I guess
Because
so.
okay, so this was my strategy, right? Some people really like thick meat. Some people like thin meat. But my mentality is if you like thick meat on your sandwich, Billy, come on, get your mouth out of the gutter. If you like thick meat on your sandwich, you just how about this? You could just get 2 thin pieces and put them together, and it makes a thick piece. So
you've
instead
got-
of-
you could you know.
Well,
pick
see,
and
I
choose.
used to get a little bit salty when someone would come and they would ask me to slice. I've cleaned the slicer, Billy. I've cleaned the slicer an hour ago. And someone comes up to the deli, they ask me, "Can you slice me some meat?"
Unbelievable.
Thick slice. I'm like, are you serious? Why don't you just get the stuff that's in the case, which is thin, and put it together?
Just put one on each one.
Then it's thick. I don't understand the issue.
That is kind of true. I'm not really getting it. I don't know. Maybe it's because they want to cook it into something and it will fall apart too quickly if it's thinly sliced.
Then buy the stuff in the shelf. This is meat for sandwiches, mate, not for cooking.
Fair enough.
It's just things that you could think about
This
when you
went
go
very
to the deli.
quickly from learning about me to learning about you on your life, Jordan. very
Yeah,
quickly.
well, look, we're at that point,
I
right?
feel like that was a bit of a suppressed rant that's been.
It was.
building up for
I've
quite
got
a
a
while.
few. I've got a few.
Yeah.
There was some pretty like tilting things. I'm sure everyone's got something like that in their job. But
I have lots of things.
retail was probably one of the worst. People
Yeah.
just doing dumb stuff. You know, doing dumb stuff. That was pretty close, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost.
Another one was when we had fresh salmon in the window.
Yep.
And someone would be like, "Can you open a new box for me?" I'm like, "Why?
A new
Why
box
would I
of-
open a new box of salmon when there's already salmon in the window?" That
They
you
don't
could-
trust you, Jordan. They don't trust your
It's like,
salmon.
I'll take that one and that one and that one. And I'm like, no, what? Just take the stuff that's in the... No one cares that much about salmon, except maybe me, apparently. Anyway,
You know what we are doing, Jordan? You know
What's
what is fresh? We're
Yeah.
getting into a fresh map of Counter-Strike.
well, I'm glad. Because that saves us all the hassle of listening to me talk about deli problems.
Look,
Thank
I-
God I don't work in a deli anymore. I actually would be one of the worst service assistants. That's what we were called. Service assistants.
Service assistants. Nice.
Deli. It was the serviced deli.
I went in a cocktail competition the other day,
Making or drinking?
making.
That's less fun, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
What did you make?
Well, we had to use certain products, but I made like a very girly drink. You know,
Uh-huh.
it was strawberry and passion fruit, and it had vodka and Contro in it. And then I put it in a martini glass,
Ah.
and I dipped the martini glass in like freeze-dried strawberry.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I would drink that.
It was a bit too sweet though, which is
I
why
like sweet stuff.
definitely
I
did
do
not
like
do
sweet
well.
stuff, though.
Yeah,
I'm a sweet tooth.
didn't do well enough. Didn't come top 3 in my cocktail competition. I would be like the fighting for freedom of the cocktail competition. It's like you're there, but
You're just happy to be there.
you just yeah. I was actually happy to be. I was just happy to be there. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just like us on this broadcast.
Always,
We're just happy to be here.
always happy to
Talking
be.
about some Counter-Strike, just chilling. Look, it's one of those nights, so if anyone wants to get involved, you know, put something in the Twitch chat or tweet us. I don't know. We'll probably do a bit of community interaction. I don't know. Got nothing better to do, right, Pilly?
I would love to read some Twitch chat right now. That would definitely help my night. Alright, first one out of SL for the Chiefs, aided by some flashbangs and a couple of smokes and a nice little Molotov. They're going to get really up close to this bomb site, and the burst fire was on for Tux, but one of them hit the head, and then he followed up very quickly and took out AUNZ there. So things going very well for Chiefs. Pistol round looking very effective.
Yeah. Chiefs would have liked one of those in Inferno.
Yes.
They did lose both pistol rounds
And still should have won.
and still should have won, yes.
What they can't beat is the SMG rounds, apparently.
Well, here comes Alistair down SL, and all of a sudden, Order have just popped off. Blitz and Texter should know where Alistair is, but Texter was still shooting at the bomb. Now it's Blitz in a 1v1, but no time for Alistair to do anything about it.
He has made himself $900 for the alt fund later on, though.
$900 to spend on some thick deli meat.
Or a deagle.
That's going to get you a lot of meat in the deli, by the way.
$900.
I-
Could you buy
absolutely.
the whole deli?
You honestly could probably buy most of what's in the case with $900.
I've always thought of it. I've looked at those like imported like prosciuttos, all wrapped up nicely. I'm like, what if I just buy it? What if I just take it
Costs you
home in my
a
arms?
lot of money.
Yeah,
Actually, they are like $50 a kilo or something like that.
and it's like what, 4
Probably-
or 5 kilos?
Yeah, I would say probably more to like 2 or 3 kilos.
Okay.
So you're probably looking at $150 per prosciutto, depending on what one it is. Oh,
Chiefs gonna split outside through Ivy. Jordan, what do you think about that?
Don't really have much to comment on about Ivy. If they were splitting through Delhi, I might have something else to say about it. But Tux has spotted the Alistair man going up and down the ladder, bouncing up and down. Doesn't seem to be too much of a concern here for Chiefs. Got EMAG on the bomb site, but only a 5-7. He's going to be mollied off. No, he's not. Does actually have a room to stand. That's a biggish. I don't know how he's managed to do so much damage.
That was thick and meaty, like your deli slices.
That was like a big salami. Have
Big
you ever
salami
seen